Hello students of class 6, welcome back. Today we are going to cover up the remaining portion of chapter 2 chapter 3 that is early states, rise of Janapadas and Mahajanapadas. This lesson is in page number 20 and this will be the second part of the lesson because we couldn't cover up the entire topics. So today we will continue from the ones that we have left in the previous class, okay? So before I go to the remaining part, I want to tell you what we have discussed in the previous class. That is, I told you about Janapadas and Mahajanapadas, about the structure of the government in a monarchy and a republic, and there were also certain differences in a monarchy type of government and republic type of government. So with the help of pictures, let me explain what we have learned. So first, I told you that they have started using iron tools, okay? So this civilization or this kingdom, they emerged as a powerful kingdom after the Aryan civilization, right? So by the time, they have already started the iron tools, but here in this kingdom, they had more sophisticated iron tools. That is, their tools were more advanced, okay? Then there were people like Brahmins who acted as an advisor for the king, and the Brahmin used to give advices to the king, okay? And also there were other advisors, ministers, chief ministers who used to help the king in different social works. Also there were farmers who involved in the farming work in agriculture, and they were great source for maintaining the army, because in order to give salary to these armies, the share known as bhaga was the salary for these military people, okay? So this was what we have discussed in the previous class. Now we are going to continue from the kingdom of Magadha from page number 22. Now before I go in detail, let me also tell you that in this Janapadas, which is a small clan, they fought wars among another clans, another Janapada, and whichever Janapadas have achieved power, they were termed as Mahajanapadas, means they were considered more powerful. So altogether, there were 16 Mahajanapadas, all right? And then some of them were divided among themselves as kingdoms. So there were different kingdoms, and in the final stage, only 4 kingdoms remained as a powerful one. The rest of them just declined with time, all right? They just ended with the time, and Magadha emerged as a most powerful kingdom of all right? So here you see the areas which were the important Mahajanapada kingdoms, all right? So here is the Magadha, okay? It became powerful and it spread to different parts of India. Now some of these places are now Bihar and Uttar Pradesh, all right? Like Ayodhya, okay? Ayodhya is still a very well-known place in India, and they were all under Magadha once upon a time, all right? So in 600 to 400 BC, this Magadha kingdom emerged as a powerful state, and there were some major advantages, all right? Why they became a very powerful kingdom? There were some advantages, means there were some reasons, all right, that made them improve their society and made their society more stronger and powerful as compared to the other kingdoms, all right? I told you that there were many kingdoms, right? And the other kingdoms would also have been as popular and as bigger and greater as Magadha, but they could not do that because Magadha had some special reasons why it became the most powerful state. So these are some of the reasons, okay? The first one, rich deposits of iron ore. Now they were very rich in iron ore, and earlier people used to make tools from stones, right? But stones were not very lasting and they were not as strong as the iron tools. But when they had this iron ore, they were able to make tools, and this also helped them to fight wars, all right? And the second was Ganga and Bhagirathi. Now these two rivers made their soil very fertile. Now fertile means the soil is very good for planting crops and plants. So because of this Ganga and Bhagirathi, their soil was fertile and they could grow good crops for their kingdom. So because of that, there was no shortage of food. In fact, there were extra food that also lasted for many months, okay? Then rivers was also used for transportation. Now these are the two rivers that were used for transportation. So with the help of this transportation, they were able to connect with the other traders, all right, with the other countries, and this helped them to gain more knowledge, all right? Because if a country just remain in one place, their knowledge will not grow, right? But when they go and connect with other areas, they were able to gain more knowledge, and this helped them to be more aware, especially when the other kingdoms try to attack them. They were ready, all right? So also they had forests that provided woods. Now woods was very important for them because it helped them to make houses, different things that they can use for different purposes, all right? So wood was quite available because there was thick forest around the kingdom and they had no shortage of wood. They had enough wood that were used to make chariots, that were used during the wars, that were used for making tents and houses, okay? Then talking about the trade has really helped them because if the king had to give salary, if the king had to buy all the things by himself, it would not have been possible. But since they had trade relations, they used to sell the things to other kingdoms, so they get a lot of money from there, and it made the kingdom rich, okay? That was easy for them to be a salary for maintaining a large army, all right? Then also they had a good nature. They had many hills around the Magadha Empire, so it protected them, okay, of different weathers. And also they are efficient rulers, like very powerful and very intelligent rulers like Bimbisara and Ajatashatru. So they helped them to increase their empire. Now let's discuss on two of these rulers, right? So the first one, this one is Bimbisara and this one is Ajatashatru. I'm sorry I couldn't get a better image because since these kings are very old, it was not easy to get their clear images, okay? So this one is Bimbisara and this one is Ajatashatru. They were father and son, okay? They were both rulers and they were the ones who have increased the Magadha Empire. Now let's start with Bimbisara, all right? Now Bimbisara was a very powerful king and he had protected his kingdom for a very long time. And his idea was through marriage. So those days, how people receive land is that when they marry someone, especially if they marry a girl from a rich family, then the girl's family used to give them expensive presents, okay? So for Bimbisara, since he was a king, he married some queens and the queen's family gave him large areas, okay? So in that way, he collected many areas. So he remarried and he married many princes. So in return, he received some land and that all came under Magadha, okay? That is how he expanded his territory. Now he was also an able ruler, all right? He used to go out from his home and he used to look after his people to see their needs. He makes sure that his people is also doing fine. So he used to personally go out from his house and he look at the people, how they are doing, how is their social life, and he also tried to find out if they have any problems in their social life. and that way he maintained a good relationship with his own people. Also, Bimbisara, he maintained a large army and he gave them proper salary so that everyone would work honestly and everyone will be satisfied with their own work. All right. However, unfortunately, Ajatashatru, who was the son of Bimbisara, he killed his own father and he became a king. Now, don't be surprised when I say killed, okay? Because those days, in the later chapters or in other classes, you're also going to learn about many kings and queens. And you'll be amazed because those days, the son, they used to kill their own father to become a king, okay? And you will be learning many of them. So, Ajatashatru, who was the son of Bimbisara, he killed his father to become a king. Now, when he became a king, now let's discuss about this man, okay? When he became a king, he was also a very powerful ruler. Like his father, he also expanded his territory, okay? Earlier, Magadha was a small land. Now it increased when his father was the ruler. Again, it became bigger and stronger when the son was the ruler, all right? Now, how he did that? He didn't apply the same idea like his father. For him, he used to go out and he used to fight wars with other kingdoms, all right? Now, when the other kingdoms lose the war, they have to surrender their land to Magadha. In that way, Magadha increased and became a very powerful kingdom, all right? But in the later part, Magadha did not become a powerful kingdom anymore, and it was because the sons of Ajatashatru, they took the empire from the father, and then they couldn't prove themselves as a strong leader and as a strong king like their grandfather Bimbisara and their father Ajatashatru. Now, when you look at these two kings, what do you think? We learned that it was a monarchy type of government, right? The leadership has passed on from father to the son and to the children, right? So that is example for monarchy type of government, all right? So again, coming to the prosperity of the Magadha dynasty. Dynasty now, it has become an empire and they were ruling for years and years, right? So it has become a dynasty, all right? So number one, why they became a powerful dynasty was because they had ambitious rulers, right? These rulers of Magadha, they not only worked to improve themselves, but they also they had a vision, all right? They had a goal that they would make their empire bigger. They had an ambition, all right? Because many of the rulers, why they fail is because after becoming a king, they just enjoy the comfort because they have many servants to do their work. They have all the luxury, they have all the richness, and they enjoy a very, they used to spend their time in fun. So they used to lose their empire. But whenever they have ambitious rulers who always have aim, who always have goal, what they will do next, they used to have great plans, right, in their mind. So because of their ambitious rulers, Magadha became a very powerful kingdom. Then the second thing, natural resources. Now talking about the natural resources, one is the iron ore. Iron is a natural resources, right? We get it from the underground. So these irons were used to make tools. So when they made iron tools, it was more sharper. It gave them better. Even for hunting or even for war, when they used these iron tools, it was more powerful, I would say, right? Then talking about natural resources, they had also very good water sources that helped them to do agriculture and grow crops or plant fruits because their soil became very fertile. Whenever a soil is left without water for many years, the soil becomes very hard and we can't grow plants, right? But since they were living near the water sources, that is Ganga and Bhagirathi, their land was very fertile and they were able to grow crops. All right. Then number 3, the strategic location of the capital cities. So Magadha, I've all explained it in the previous subtopic. This kingdom was surrounded by hills, okay? The location itself was very good. That is why it protected them from the enemies. And since they were near the water sources, it was easy for them to do transportation, right? And because of these rivers, big rivers like Ganga, the enemies could not reach them as fast as they wanted, right? So because of this location also, Magadha was a powerful dynasty, okay? Then number 4, fertile plain area. I already explained to you that their land was very fertile and it was easy for them to grow certain crops, right? Number 5, increase in trade. Now, they needed money to maintain a strong army, right? Because armies, they not only needed tools, but they also needed animals. Now, for animals, they have to feed certain food, right? And for telling the people to join their military, they have to give them good amount of salary, right? So in order to maintain all this thing, the king needed a lot of money, and this increase in trade really helped them. Now, because of the sea, because of the river, they were able to transport the goods to other areas. Even the other kingdoms come to their land to buy things from them, and this gave them a good amount of money to maintain their army. All right. And also they had a very strong army because a very good training was given to them. There were different soldiers. Some of them used to fight on land. Some of them used animals like elephants, horses, right? So because of that, they were able to capture the other kingdoms. All right. Then power became a symbol. So for the kings, their main motive, okay, their main goal was to get power, was to control the other kingdoms. So that was very strong ambition for them, okay. So the life of the people. Now the first one, the king and his officers, all right. So in the previous chapter, in the previous part also, I've explained to you that the king used to take advice from the ministers, from the Brahmins, and also there were Senani and Purohitas, Amatyas, right? So these officers, they used to talk and discuss with the king. So that was a very good way of maintaining a good relationship with his people, all right? Now, while they were maintaining good relationship, they were also able to have good discussions in order to take their society, or in order to keep themselves alarmed, especially when the enemies try to come and attack them, right? So without discussion, it wouldn't have been possible. But since they had very good plans while having a meeting, they were able to protect their kingdom. Also, they had a very large army. So by the time when Magadha became a dynasty, when Magadha became a powerful kingdom, they had thousands of armies. Also, they used to take taxes from the people, so it could be transformed as a salary for the other jobs who were working for the king, all right? Then the village economy was very good because some of them worked as traders, some of them were artisans, some of them used to fully involve in the field work. So everyone was helping one another, okay? Then trade and industry, they also formed some industries where things were made from their own kingdom and it was sold to other kingdom. So with that, they got good amount of money. Then commercial centers, they also started shops where they started selling things, okay? Then Varna system. So during their time, the caste system was still in existence. They were divided into 4: Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Now these 4 castes, they used to do their works accordingly, all right? I have explained to you in the previous topic that was in Vedic culture also, right? Then there were ashramas. There were certain special places known as ashramas, and they were very fond believers of gods and goddesses. So for them, religion was very important. So the two main gods that they worship was Lord Mahavira and Lord Buddha. Okay, now with the help of this picture, I will explain to you. So the society was divided into four castes, right? So these were how they worked: the Brahmins, which was the highest class, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Also they had a large army, and it only kept on increasing. For trade and commerce, they started using minted coins, which was made of gold, silver, and copper. And also the kings always took the advice of the Brahmins and other Senanis and Purohitas, so it helped them to be stronger for any from any kingdom attacks. Okay, also they had different ways, different rituals which they have performed the entire year. There was different rituals for the kings, also for the Kshatriyas, and then they followed very strictly. All right, and they mostly worshipped Lord Buddha and Lord Mahavira. All right. Okay, coming to the Bhaji confederacy, not much is written in your book. So what you need to know is that it was divided into 8 clans, and these are some of the clans: Lichavis, Vaishali. However, Lichavis became the most popular one, the most popular clan among the rest of the 8 clans, and then finally it was attacked and annexed by the ruler of Magadha, Ajatashatru. Okay, so the Bhaji confederacy, it was also a land, an area. However, later on it came under the control of the Magadha Empire. That was when Ajatashatru was the ruler. Now if you remember, I told you that there were 2 great rulers, Bimbisara and Ajatashatru, right? They were father and son. First it was the father who was the ruler, but he used to expand his territory with the help of marriages, right? When he used to marry a queen, he received a land, and that is how his kingdom expanded. But for Ajatashatru, he believed in fighting wars with other kingdom, and then whichever land was taken by him came under the Magadha Empire. So Bhaji was one of them, all right? So here in this lesson, I have explained to you about Janapadas, which was a small clan. Then the powerful ones were known as Mahajanapadas. Now there were 2 types of government. One was the monarchy type of government, where the power passed on from the father to the son and to the younger generations, whereas the other one, the republic type of government, was a democratic government where people used to take decision together on choosing their leader. So the majority decisions where the majority, whoever selects a person, that person becomes the ruler. Okay, so thank you very much, my dear students. We have come to the end of the chapter. I'll see you again in the next video lesson.